Well, today is 31st October. Let's stay positive, get out, get going. Life is good. Learn from it, release it into the past where it belongs. As we stroll through this mental ward we call life, remember to observe, not absorb. To heal from the damage the narcissist caused, we must admit that we were fooled and that the things were taken from us was our innocence. We were naive about the fact that such wild people exist. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Don't take on the shame that the narcissist should be feeling. Don't let them protect that on you. Project that on you. That's their way of to shut you up about their dirty needs. You were kind to them under extreme circumstances, and that is not a thing to be ashamed of. Seeing them in their true light under the mask is the only way to deal with them. Don't let them mesmerize you forever. Look behind the mask. Don't mess with me. If I can survive a narcissist, I can survive anything. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I've seen some weird shit. Narcissists are pathological liars. Their whole person is a lie. Everything they say or do is a fake, and it's used to either impress a new target or degrade or devalue the target they already have in their claws. Lying and conning is second nature to them, and it is really the only way they know how to live. They have learned this behavior very young, and it's taken over the once innocent child they were. Don't think that you can help them overcome this depraved state. They count on people wanting to help them, to try to show them what real love is. It just makes you an easy mark to use and abuse. You wake up every morning to fight the same demons that left you so tired the night before, and that, my love, is bravery. When the rain washes you clean, you'll know. Ask yourself as you're crying, what is this exactly that you are crying over? The narcissist is supposed to be reckoned with. The person before you doesn't have a sense of a fair play and will do anything to win first prizes, breaking your spirit and making you beg for more. We are less of a target if we remember this and deal with them accordingly. The first rule of the engagement: to know it's your enemy. Never let an adversary break your spirit. Your spirit is your sense. Workplace narcissists will bully anyone who doesn't go to them and kiss their arrogant asses. They often make themselves indispensable to the employee by volunteering their free time to fix problems or by overseeing special projects for free. In this way, they can continue to rent off abuse while their superiors turn a blind eye to the terror they cause others. If someone speaks up and makes a complaint against the tyrant, they will be accused of being difficult and they will be terminated. Our finest moments are most likely to occur when we are feeling deeply uncomfortable, unhappy, and uplifted. For it is only in such moments, propelled by our discomfort, that we are likely to step out of our ruts and start searching for different ways or truer answers. Saint Michael and the Archangel defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and the sinners of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray, and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the divine power of God, cast into the hell Satan and all the evil spirits who roam throughout the world seeking the runs and of souls. Amen. Reinforcements: for he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. A dog will look down when they have done wrong, but a snake will look you right in the eyes. You must disengage all of your emotions when communicating with the narcissist. They are vampires. They feed on emotions. Positive and negative emotions from the targets are not only satisfying, they become a life-sustaining force to them. You give them any power that they use this power as a weapon to destroy you. Shut down your emotions and you shut down the force that feeds on it. Cry, scream, and do what they need to do. What you need to do with the betrayal and the hurt you're feeling, but never in front of them. The fastest way to get rid of the narcissist is to keep feeding them with your valuable attention. The narcissist can't feed on indifference. Lazing on the Sunday afternoon. He that dwelt in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. Surely He will deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shall thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid by the terror of by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that waketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall be no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels the charge over thee, and to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash the foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread under the lion and adder. The young lion and the dragon shall thou that temple under feet, because he has said, His love upon me, and therefore will I deliver him. I'll set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Narcissus, fake triumph, fake tears, fake empathy, fake charm, fake illness, fake emotions, fake regret, fake sensitivity, fake caring, fake jobs, fake education, fake strength, fake love, fake guilt, fake character, fake friendship, fake appeal, fake friendliness, fake. Narcissists aren't looking for love. They wouldn't know if it jumped up and bit them. They want unrelenting devotion and infatuation so they can keep players in their deceitful game. Ever get tired of explaining basic relationship skills to an adult? You may be dealing with a narcissist. Like toddlers, narcissists will suck and give you the silent treatment or rage at you instead of doing conflict resolution like an adult does. Their toddler tactics are so ingrained on their brains that they will choose the easy way out every time you're basically battling a child. In an adult's body, the relationship can only be a parent-child relationship, and it literally, as always, look behind the mask and run like hell. Warning: no people allowed by order of the command center. We are all born with a secret weapon of our guts instinct, but only if we listen to it. Don't ignore the flags. Narcissists, I see the narcissists everywhere. Narcissists can turn on the water works on a dime. If you look closely, they are just wiping dry eyes. They are no tears, no hurt feelings or remorse or behaving badly. They pride themselves for putting on what they think is an Academy Award performance to get what they want, or to get people to behave how they want through sympathy and guilt. Or guilt. After a relationship with a narcissist, you have to go through a type of programming. Everything they told you about yourself was a lie, and it was designed to destroy you. They told you that you were worthless and that you were lucky to have them. They criticized everything you did and made you feel doing just all. They are lies, and they aren't yours to bear. Shake them off you, heal, and live the life you deserve. Narcissists hate the truth. The fastest way to get rid of one is to hit them with the truth every chance you get. You can put up with it for a short period of time, but if you bombard them with the truth constantly, they will run. Truth blows their fake world apart, and they aren't having any of it. Narcissists will play stupid or forgetful when it benefits them. Did they forget about the promise to do you a favor? Did they forget to pay you back the money that you loaned them? Did they misplace an item they asked to borrow from you? Do they act incompetent when asked to assist on a project? They usually like to toot their own horn about how smart they are until it's going to cost them something, or they have to help someone else. Suddenly, they have a memory lapses, or they are skilled enough for the task at hand. You will never change a narcissist. They have been this way all their lives, and it just isn't going to happen. If confronted that way, pretend that they have made adjustments in their bad behavior, but well, then turn around and do the same thing or something much worse, and they will forget that you called them out for on something. It may not be today or tomorrow, but you will be punished for pointing out one of their many imperfections. Narcissists use people. If an ex-lover or the ex-friend suddenly shows up out of the blue, it's not because they care about you or miss you. They want something, be it attention, money, a place to stay, an alibi, or just to make their current partner jealous. They are seeking some gain from you. Don't think that they changed in a loving, kind person since you haven't heard from them. In fact, they probably learned many new tactics to add to the bag of the tricks, and they count on you to forgiving and forgetting all the harm they have done to you. Birds of a feather flock together. Narcissists will go to great lengths to excuse another narcissist's behavior. It is as though they are defending their own nefarious actions. Having a comrade that's an evil and sick as you gives one a sense of normalcy, and then there is always a competition between the two to see who can be the most devious. This is a symbiotic relationship, and just like any relationship a narcissist has, they don't really like or care for the other person. They just use them for their own gain. Narcissists do not feel guilt if they get caught doing something illegal or immoral. They may try to appear remorseful or ashamed to receive the lesser punishment, but there isn't any real feeling behind this. They may even promise changes in their behavior, or they may pledge to make reparations to their victims, but they will never happen. But that will never happen. It's just an manipulation tactic to skate free on their bad behavior. I never lose, I either win or learn. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. To heal from the damage the narcissist caused, we must admit that we were fooled and that the thing taken from us was our innocent. We were naive about the fact that we were wild. That such wild people exist is nothing to be ashamed of. Don't take on the shame that the narcissist should be feeling. Don't let the project that onto you. That's their way to shut you up about their dirty deeds. You were kind to them under the extreme circumstances, and that's not a thing to be ashamed of. Seeing them in their true light under the mask is the only way to deal with them. Don't let them mesmerize you. Forever look behind the mask. Behold, I send forth as a sheep in the midst of the wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. People sometimes ask if a narcissist can change for the better, and always wonder if it's worth the risk to give their man a chance. If someone consistently degrades you, disrespects you, treats you unfairly, you have to ask yourself why you should trust them ever again. Actions speak louder than words, and the narcissist is full of deceiving words and empty promises. Remember, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. In families where narcissism runs amok, you'll find yourself in the back of the wolves, again to wild beasts. The strongest and meanest take that what they want. And if you rebel, they will make sure the whole pack devotes you. The narcissists aren't human in this sense, but are more animalistic in their thinking. It can be hard ranging, but sometimes we must remove ourselves from their presence and let go of the Walton family fantasy. Don't waste years and years trying to fix something they don't want fixed. A wolf will never be a sheep. A narcissist spirit is a force to be reckoned with. The person before you doesn't have a sense of fair play and will do anything to win first prize and breaking your spirit and making you beg for more. We are less of a target. If we remember this and deal with them accordingly, the first rule of engagement is to know your enemy. Never let an adversary break your spirit. Your spirit is your presence, essence. Trust is earned, respect is given, loyalty is demonstrated, and betrayal of any one of those is to lose all three. Walking on eggshells if you feel like you are, that is domestic abuse. Most people go through a phase in their younger years where they worry about what their peers will think of them. Do they look all right? Are they saying the right thing? Do they fit in. As these people age and become comfortable in their own skin, they care less and less if they do fit into the certain group of people. They become independent of the pack, but not with narcissists. Narcissists never stop caring what others think of them. Their whole lives are focused on how they appear to others. Every minute of their rotten lives is spent performing in front of everyone that can stomach them. It doesn't matter what the audience is, as long as they have an audience. That's why they can certainly love someone else. Very soon after or during a relationship, one of the narcissist's favorite line is, "You get more bees with honey." Is simply a con job done on the unsuspecting. There is no shame in being naive about the fact that these things walk along among us. So don't feel ashamed that you were fooled by them. Shame on them and not you and your innocence. They acting narcissists get tired of putting on a show all day and get relief by going home and being their real mean, ugly self. They will even tell you how refreshed and energized they feel after having screaming tantrums for hours. They view it as blowing off his steam and not as abusing another person by doing it. They needed to vent. They needed to vent, and you happen to be there. Other people do not have the rights and the boundaries when the narcissists want to do the monkey dance. You aren't a real person to them. You may as well be a rat dog that they can do with as they please. All that matters to them is how they feel, what they want, and when they want it. After the outburst, they will then test you to see how you have reacted to the abuse. Are you less loyal or more loyal? Did you buy their line of crap? Can they do it again? And they'll do it again. Can they up the playing field and throw things at you? Can they get away with hitting you? Narcissists can only fool those who aren't in constant contact with them. They cannot act 24/7. The monster has to raise its head and demand submission, and that usually happens within the immediate family because the ties and the bonds are deeper and the chains are a lot thicker. Good people have gone to great lengths to try to keep the family together and to have to put up with years of abuse from the narcissist partners. The narcissist knows this and will take the abuse to extreme levels. It knows that its power comes from others. It has no power of its own. It feeds on the powers it takes from the others. The more they hurt, the more powerful they feel. If you are lucky enough to get away from this raged person, remember that saying goodbye to a narcissist is no laughing matter. They will smear your good name, attack your character, and seek to destroy you. No one walk away from them unscathed. They take rejection as one of their servants rebelled and left the kingdom. The more subjects to rule over, the better. It's all demented thinking, sadistic power tripling. The good news is that the narcissists aren't very smart, no matter how smart they tell you they are. No one who's smart has to live in a Jekyll and Hyde life and treat others with disdain. Outsmart them with truth. See them as the delusional demon that they are. See them in the light and always look behind the mask to see what you are really dealing with and act accordingly. Divide and conquer, one of the narcissist tools. To heal from the damage the narcissist caused, we must admit that we were fooled and that the things taken from us were our innocence. We were naive about the fact that such wild people exist. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Don't take on the shame that the narcissist should be feeling. Don't let them project that on you. That's their way to shut you up about their dirty deeds. You were kind to them under extreme circumstances, and that is not a thing to be ashamed of. Seeing them in their true light under the mask is the only way to deal with them. Don't let them mesmerize you forever. Look behind the mask. Narcissists are morally disordered people. You know this because you have to explain things like empathy to them and have to point out how they are hurting others with their cruel acts. If they do apologize, which is rare, don't excuse their bad behavior so quickly. If they are really sorry, they will apologize, attempt to make the amends and not repeat the behavior again. You shouldn't have to explain these basic skills to a grown person. And don't get hung up on the false hope that the narcissist is going to wake up one day and decide to be a kind, decent, moral human being. They are not wired for change. Good traits are foreign to them. It would be like expecting a snake to suddenly begin acting like a rabbit, it's not going to happen. A snake is a snake. It's their nature. Good is God. Narcissists hate rules. If a narcissist doesn't agree to any rule and law, they just ignore it and encourage others to do so also. They do what they feel like doing and hate any restraint on them. However, they love putting all kinds of rules on anyone that disagrees with them and has the upper hand with them. Rules they invent on the spot in the narcissist's mind. They are somehow more special than you are, and they get to call all the shots. Narcissists all have that predatory stare. You just have to look deeper for it in some. If you watch them closely, you'll notice that they focus it on your physical movements like a cat hunting prey. Not only are they scanning for any signs of the weakness, but also picking up gestures and parts of identities that they find attracted to add to their fake persona wardrobe. Never love anything that can't love you back. Narcissists isn't mental illness or chemical imbalance, it's character disorder. Narcissists do not feel guilt. If they get caught doing something illegal, immoral, they may try to appear remorseful or ashamed to receive a lesser punishment, but there isn't any real feeling behind this. They may even promise changes in their behavior or make pledge to make reparations to their victims, but that will never happen. It's just another manipulation tactic to escape free on their bad behavior. Narcissists will project onto you the things that they are doing or thinking that is very easy for you to know what to expect from them. If they accuse you of being paranoid, they are the one that paranoid you may be on to them. If they accuse you of cheating, you can bet they are cheating and thinking of doing so. It's crazy. They can look you right in the eye and say that you're always accusing them of doing something while they are accusing you. Narcissists do not love you even though they may claim to. Don't take this personally. They do not love anyone. They do not know how to love. Is foreign concept to them. They may like what you can do for them, or they may keep you around just for that, but it's impossible for them to experience the connection that comes with loving someone for your own well-being. Never love something that can't love you back. Babies are cold this morning. Vaheguru, Vaheguru. Narcissism is a mental illness. It's character disorder. I'm not a protologist, but I know as an asshole when I see one. If you look like a rabbit and act like a rabbit, you will be treated like a rabbit. Prey for all predators. If you want to screw over the narcissist, get away from them and enjoy life. It will kill them to picture you happy while they are miserable. Here's a crazy fact. You will realize if you ever manage to reject all of them from your life, life should be effortless, drama-free and fun. The people around you shouldn't be yelling or freaking out about anything. Life by default is happy. The world by default is beautiful. Narcissists work on a primitive level. They operate on a different plane than decent, moral people. They are predators and they are only prey. They have no restraints in the place to stop them from victimizing others for their own gain. They live in a dog-eat-dog world, and you can't love them into thinking differently. The narcissist co-worker watching you all do all the work, privileged and self-entitled. You see through the malignant narcissist and you know your selfish and sadistic ways. You'll never conquer our hearts and minds. You'll never defeat us. We are stronger and smarter than you. Because of you, we have characters, hope, faith, truth, and love. Things you'll never take away from us and the things that you'll never have. Never underestimate the savagery of their flying monkeys. Nostalgia is sentimental longing for the wistful affection for the past and typically for repeated or replaced with happy personal association or something that you won't have after the encounter with the narcissist. Narcissist mob mentality, we will bully you into submission. People are being programmed by society to be malignant narcissists. They are taught that feeling a certain way of or believing a certain things makes it true or right. A hell with critical thinking or due process. They are praised when they try to destroy people. They don't agree with them, and just like any narcissist, they believe in mob rule and justice is what they define it as, and for whom they don't believe in fairness or truth. They don't need facts or evidence to crucify someone they dream their enemy. Deem the enemy, the more narcissistic they are, the more they are praised and not in the limelight. It's become the new norm, and like a cancer, it will grow. Every time I have to encounter with a narcissist, I'm reminded that these people are from the dark side. They have given in to evil forces and have been overtaken by it. Lying, cheating, and stealing, and regularly trying to destroy others is flat out evil. No matter how they try to spin it, and no matter how they pretend it's normal behavior, it is nothing but pure unadulterated evil. Narcissists bear false witness against the darkest constantly. They ruin friendship and relationship between people with smear campaigns and making false claim against the victims. They not only don't care what that this hurts the families and the friends of the accused. They view it as an even bigger victory because they touch the lives of the ones the mark loves and the cares for. Narcissists are ruthless and will take down anyone that gets in their way and hinders their plans. Narcissists pollute every environment they are with your malignant behavior. They are either sucking up to you because you have something they need, or they are steamrolling and bullying you because you have nothing they want and they have no reason to be nice to you. They cause division and strife among family members, neighbors, and co-workers so they can control the narrative they want to keep others from comparing notes and exposing their lies and manipulations. This is what we have to understand about the narcissists. They don't operate in reality. They live in a pretend world where they make up their own truth and rules. This was once a childish defense mechanism, but it morphed into a destructive and depraved way of thinking and being. Narcissists don't adhere to a set of standards or codes of honor, no loyalty. They are morally bankrupt predators who are beyond any harm. Save your prayers for yourself and your loved ones. Listen to your gut. Your instincts know long before any physical manifestations that something is wrong. People will sometimes rout their own defense mechanism and get caught into the narcissist nightmare, with the target's own empathy used as a weapon against them. They see your goodness and character as a curse that affects the lesser of their species. For we wrestle not against the flesh and the blood, proceed accordingly. The narcissist, it's pretty easy to read. They think that they are cute and special and have the right to what is yours. When they doesn't work out too well, they get into the brat mode, like a toddler that rages and has tantrums when they don't get their way at all. If that fails, they may use the silent treatment as bargaining chip to get you to the cave to the demands. If neither of these factors get resolved, then they get violent verbally and physically, and have been known to threaten suicide to control others. These childish manipulators are ingrained in them and part of their personality, and it isn't changing anytime soon. Narcissists will defend each other and build from some kind of disloyal camaraderie between themselves. They have a corrupt agreement where they turn to each other, but it is expected and even promoted. They view themselves as predators and other narcissists as their kind. They will see non-narcissists people as prey, and they feel no empathy toward any victim, be it their own victim or another. This is a common in narcissistic families. You may not know it, but if you have had a narcissistic lover in your past and they are among the living, you are in a pattern. They have kept you in their little black book for future extractions and will rear their ugly head when you are needed. As long as both of you are breathing, you are but a reserve and a potential target to them. They are known to pop out of the woodwork even after many years. This enemy is always around the corner. It's amazing how a narcissist can, with a straight face, tell you that you no longer rely on your own memory, like a 3-year-old denying reality and getting mad when you don't play your role in their delusion. They live a lie and want everyone around them to do the same, and if you don't, you will be banished from their twisted kingdom. Don't ever let the preacher talk to you into doubting yourself. We know the truth. Whatever you do, do not grow old with a narcissist. We are far more vulnerable and usually have far less options for escaping this normal relationship later in life. You'll find yourself trapped with a ragging, manipulated lunatic who enjoys playing with your mind and your heart. The narcissist will take their cruelty and inhumanity to another level, and you'll find yourself in some pervasive parallel universe that resembles hell. The most mind-blowing moments in a relationship with a narcissist is when reality slaps you in the face, and with the fact that the face that the person you give all to is a stranger, a mocking and cruel stranger, someone that enjoys your pain, someone who laughs at your disappointment and your betrayal, someone who laughs in the face of the love. It's life changing and can either build you up or tear you down. Narcissists like to keep their relationship in a state of possible breakup. They keep you anxious, worried, and on your best behavior. This means that you are under their control. You'll walk on eggshells and question their bad behavior. You will shower them with love and affection and be just what they want you to be. As accurately, any security felt in this union is a delusion and short-lived. Narcissists have nothing to offer us. We ask for truth and they give us lies. We ask for justice, they give us corruption. We ask for fairness, they give us prejudice. We ask for love, they give us animosity. We ask for peace, they give us conflict. We ask for freedom, they give us enslavement. We ask for empathy, they give us apathy. We ask for kindness, they give us cruelty, with a smirk included. Make no mistake, the narcissist is your worst enemy. Anyone who has total disrespect for the truth and relies on deception to survive is dangerous. They operate in the dark and keep their true characters and motives hidden. They use manipulation and false promises to extract what you need from the innocent. They are the masters at bending reality and are wolves in sheep clothing. Everyone is fair game to a predator, and this predator operates with no empathy. When you confront a narcissist about their bad behavior, they'll scramble to change the narrative and start attacking you to get the spotlight off of themselves. Your character and motives will certainly be in question, and you may find yourself so busy defending yourself that you let slide the original complaint about your mistakes. Most narcissists are mastered at this tactic and rely on it to get out of the sticky situation and avoid responsibility. Do the flying monkeys know that the narcissist is a horrible person that tries to hurt others? Do they know that they are harming innocent people at the command of the narcissist? How could they not know? These people are just as guilty as the narcissists and actually enjoy the mayhem and chaos because they are anti-narcissists themselves and maybe just a little less imagination than their leader, but just as dangerous. Narcissists try to control us with shame for who we are, what we do, when we do it, and with whom we do it. With either overtly or covertly, the message is always the same. It's okay and you're not okay. This constant negative programming can erode a person's self-confidence and open their mind to accepting the abuse the narcissist rolls out. The target may tell themselves that they deserve such treatment because they are flawed and can't do anything right. This is the operation in the mental cruelty and one of the favorite tools of abuse in the narcissist black bag. God help the golden child of the narcissist mother. She is going to primp and preen them to send out on a stage for the world to see. She's looking for admiration and praise on what a great job she's done and especially get it when someone mentioned that they are cute. She'll take all credit for her child achievement and talents. All these children can learn early on that they must please her and only her. Most ardent allowed their own likes and dislikes. They must conform to what she thinks is best. It's very hard to become an autonomous individual under this control. Narcissists seek out nurturers because the narcissists can't take care of themselves or their business. They are high-functioning narcissists. They will still need an audience to perform before and show their greatness to function at that capacity. A nurturer provides unconditional love and acceptance. They shoulder all the emotional weight and all the adult responsibility. They are also known to fall easily into a parent-child relationship with a narcissist who is forever a selfish child. Narcissists are known to spur half-truths. They will give you just enough of their story to make it appear legit, but leave out important facts to skew the narrative to favor them on the agenda. Half-truths go hand in hand with lies by omission. Here the narcissist is silent about the truth and then claims that they didn't lie about something, they just didn't reveal it to you. Technically, it isn't a lie. There is no more dangerous thing on this planet than a human being. Dealing with a narcissist is like suddenly finding yourself in an upside-down world. They have the uncanny ability to twist, turn, and corrupt reality as to confuse you and make you doubt your own perceptions. Up is down and left is right. This tactic is to make you confused, off guard, and open to accepting whatever lies and deceptions that they throw at you. Have you ever noticed that the narcissists wear their nastiness and inhumanity like a badge of honor? They love telling people that they are the biggest bitch alive, or that they can be your worst nightmare if you cross them. In their world, anyone who doesn't live by these grades is a fool that deserves to be taken advantage of. They see kindness in others as a weakness and believe only in while get ahead in life. They use intimidation tactics and fear to rule over the meek and the mild. Until the discarded narcissist knows that they can get nothing from you, including any attention, they won't go away. They may be secretly following you on social media or casually bringing you the name of in social circles to find out what you have been doing or who you are with. They are hoping that you're not doing well and maybe even miss them. They hate losing a prime piece of the narcissistic supply, and they hate that someone saw through the facade. Don't ever believe the narcissist is living a happy, carefree life. Has the narcissist in your life ever committed a hit and run? They enter a room and you're in. Shout out what they have to say, usually negative about you, and then run before you can respond and defend yourself. You may think it's childish, but it's actually a form of abuse and control. They shut your voice down and refuse to resolve any conflict. These tactics is usually